Well, hey everyone, welcome to the channel and welcome to the stream and another chapter working on that guy right there. That is our Batman Batwing by AMT. We're going to run the intro. We're going to get going on it. Okay, we are back and we're going to continue on this build. We got quite a bit done last time. So last time we got a whole bunch of fins put on and yeah, so that's about it, right? Really. And we got wings assembled, right? We got one wing right here and we got that put together. I got the other wing put together. I put in the clear piece on the tip of this wing. Okay, let me change the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, put the clear piece on the tip of this wing here. Okay, so that's one. But my kit only had one in it. I didn't have one for the other side. So I'm kind of screwed, right? Sort of, kind of. So what I did was I took a little piece of flat styrene here. This is just plain plastic styrene sheet, very, very thin. And what I did is I kind of just wrapped it around it like this, folded it, and then I cut it to match, and that gave me a little bit of a template of what that's supposed to be like in that shape. And then what I did was I glued it. I glued it in at the top here, and I let that glue dry for about an hour, and then I folded it over and I glued it in on this side. And so I have a reasonable facsimile of a light lens for this side. This is all going to get painted black, so it's not really going to be that much of a big deal. Now, what was my mistake? My mistake was tucking this side into this wing, and I can't get it out of there because this has this little lip right there. You can see, if I get that angle, you see that lip, okay? And that gets tucked in. It gets tucked in right in there. And once you've got that in there, I couldn't pop it out. I can't pop it out. It's stuck in there. So she ain't going nowhere. So, but that's fine. It's okay. Not a big deal. So that was basically step number 3. And step number 4, of course, was the wing assembly, right? So step number 3, obviously I haven't put the canopies on. I did mask the canopies off. So these guys are ready for some primer. Okay, so those are ready for primer. So let's flip her over to step number 5 and see what number 5 is. I think number 5 really is just about final assembly. Step number 5 is, yes, final assembly of everything. So what we want to focus on today is I'm going to do a little customization. I did take the minigun and I put those two pieces together and I put the end cap on, and that is sitting right here. Okay, that's the assembled product, and that's going to go down onto this little cover. And that's going to go in. Now they've done this as a little gimmick, as this cover has these two little tabs. They don't tell you whether or not to glue it or not, but if you don't glue it, that cover can actually close. It can open and close. And so that's kind of a neat little thing. I did a little bit of a test fit on it just to see. See, this guy, since my wing is stuck on here anyway, so why not, right? So if I line this up and do this, get that in there like so. Once we get our pins lined up, you've got these two little notches. Let me grab my knife here. There's a little notch right in there, and there's a little notch on the same side in there. Okay? You kind of have to put your door in. Here's the door. you kind of have to put this down like this on the wing already, or put it in its closed position so that it'll kind of stay. It's a little bit tricky, as it doesn't really, it just kind of sits in this spot on this part, right? It does that. It just kind of flops around. But if you leave it in there like this, and just leave it there, when you bring this down over top, it kind of seals it in, or makes it fall out, whichever, you know, one or the other. It's going to be a bit of a tricky thing to get it in there, and to get it in there without glue while we're lining everything up on this, right? But I think we can do it. I could, you know, essentially I could just put this in here and tape it down, but I'm not going to worry about that today, because today is about customization. We're going to do a little bit of custom work on this little bird, because I noticed something about this. If I put the Gatling gun on here, or the minigun as they call it, and put him in his spot, that's how he sits, like this, when he's popped open. And I was looking at this, and as I was looking at this, I thought, where do the bullets go into this? There needs to be an ammo belt, right? It's got to have an ammo belt. Like, seriously, there's no ammo belt. There's nowhere. We're not getting bullets from anywhere. So what I did was a little process. I went online and I googled ammo belt, and looked up some pictures. Then I went to the website Tripo AI, and I uploaded my picture of the ammo belt and had it create a 3D image of it, which I then put into my slicer, which then I sent to my printer, and I printed out myself some ammo belts. And here's my results. Grab my tweezers. Here's an ammo belt. There's actually two of them here. They're stuck together. Ammo belts. So if I zoom in on here a little bit, you can see their little bullets. Actual ammo belt. So I did that, and I did a little work on our minigun, and I carved out a little rectangular hole in the back there, okay? And I took a little section of the ammo belt and I just cut it off. It's in a nice little curve for us. And I can insert that into our minigun, just like that. And now we're going to have something that looks just a little bit more realistic. And it's going to go in there and it's going to sit like that. Now, how realistic is really doesn't matter. I mean, we're talking about a fictional plane here. So the only question it really is, do I leave this in the open position, or do I allow it to actually close? And that's the question I've been kind of thinking about, because to make it able to close, I'm going to have to put a hole down in the wing here for the ammo belt to go through and kind of go through in and out. And how much clearance I have between this piece here and our landing gear, that I don't know. The hole needs to be definitely wide enough to fit my ammo belt in that same position. Kind of what I want to do is tape this thing down so that it's you know, in the spot it's supposed to be, and it stays there. So I get a much better idea as far as where it's supposed to sit, where it's going to sit when it's done. Stop moving around. Where the ammo belt's going to sit is right about here. I need it to be able to go through, so let's do a little bit of a scribe right here, a little bit of a scratch line, and then I want it wide enough that the bullets won't ever catch on it, and it's going to be right about there. So now let's get this up out of the way here. So I've got a couple of lines here and here. Oop. Just busted a... See? You gotta be careful about this stuff. I just broke a fin off. Not realizing that we're actually sitting on the fins. I cracked that one, so I'm gonna have to glue that. Come on. One-handed glue application. Glue that back down. Okay, and let's set it down on a bottle of paint. So I need to carve that out. I want to try using my new sonic knife, my ultrasonic knife. So let's just put this down. This guy, this hand boost. You guys have seen my video already. Hey, you're doing an awesome job on your stream. It's super fun to watch. I'm a big fan and noticed your channel deserves more viewers. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, got this for Christmas from my wife, and she's very generous, buying me the hand boost ultrasonic knife. I did do a video showcasing this thing using with resin, but it does plastic too. But with the plastic, it does kind of just melt it. But in this case, I'm going to need that a little bit because I don't have a lot of room. I tell you though, it just makes short work of everything. I'm going to change my glasses so I can see properly here. And I want to make sure this is going to be glued proper. Bear with me a second here. Okay. I'm going to cut through. Cut through here. Because of the, I'm going to call it the ultrasonic nature of this blade, it makes it seem like you're just cutting through butter with an extremely sharp knife. That's what it seems like, because it actually does melt the plastic. It's vibrating such a high speed, the plastic actually does melt. But that's okay, because I'm cutting a hole, and melted plastic is going to be a little bit easier to deal with. Although, not necessarily. Not necessarily easier, is it? You'd think it would be easy, because this blade just goes right through it. It just slices right through. can get it to be a bit of a hole, I can work with it. Of course, using a Dremel would help too, but I don't want to make a bunch of noise right now. I want to work on this quietly, and I want to double check my fin. Let's see if I can get in here with the tweezers and pull some of this out. I have a hole in there now, so it's just a matter of getting in there and cutting it. And then once I've got it opened up, I can clean it up. The other thing I thought would be cool to add to this is maybe some wires, some cabling in there, because this is Batman after all, and he does all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Digging a hole without going all the way through and going through the bottom here, we don't want to do that, right? So you got to be a little careful. You don't want to just go crazy at it and just start carving away. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Got a big hole now. Lots of bits coming out. Okay, so now I'm getting a good idea of where exactly this is going to come in contact with our landing gear. Now, our landing gear being closed might be an advantage in going all the way through, as it's going to line up right about there, right about here, where we've got a gap. And already kind of melted through a little bit. So I want the ammo belt to kind of appear like it's actually going into the recesses of the plane. I want it to have somewhere to go when he closes the hatch. You know what I mean? That's basically the idea behind this. Well, that's why I'm doing this hole. I want the ammo belt to be able to go somewhere. Okay. This would be much easier to do had I not put the wing onto the plane already. But, you know, you make with what you do, what you got. Okay, I got a pretty decent hole going on there. Let's just do a little bit of a test here. Once again, double check my fins. Fin looks good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue the gun onto this thing now. I'll pull my bullets out. Let's put them there. And I'm going to glue the gun down onto our plate. The plate's not getting glued in on the actual plane anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. But I want to get the gun glued on here. Okay. And I'll give that a minute to cure. So, where did I put my ammos? So my ammo belt basically is going to go in like this. There's still nowhere for it to really go. So I'm going to get in there with the Dremel. I'm going to grab my Dremel. Just because, as handy as my sonic blade is, I don't want to kind of just melt my way through with it. So I'm going to use my Dremel. Let's put my nice little guy away here, and I'll grab the Dremel. So, Dremel being what it is, we need to be fairly careful. I'm confident that since we're in this spot here, let's move this. We're in this spot here, which equates to right about here, and which means I've got some space before we get to like nothing, right? So as long as I only go through that layer of plastic, I should be okay. I think we're good. I got quite the little cavity in here for the ammo belt to go into. And that should be good for it. Let's just make sure I've got nothing under here. It's going to stop it. Okay, so in theory, the ammo belt will go into this channel like this and come out. I might have it a little too long. That is yet to be determined. Let's try another fit here. This has now had a little minute or two to go on. That's how that's going to go. And line that up there. And if he closes it, the ammo belt doesn't really have anywhere to go. Okay, so back to the drawing board. In spite of the fact I've got extra clearance in there for the ammo belt, she ain't got nowhere to go. She's just got nowhere to go, guys. Now I could really Dremel out a huge slot here. I could get rid of most of this actual landing gear spot. Let's just do that, okay? short way of that, that's for sure. Okay, let's see if we can get in here with our nippers and start nipping. This we got. Don't have to worry about it because it's all closed up, right? Again, this would be so much easier if I didn't have the wing on here, but I don't have any options. The wing is on, and without actually taking the wing apart, I got no options. Okay. Taking away the total top of this. Try and peel that back. Just rip that section out. Well, I got a pretty decent hole now. Need to trim that off. Sorry I'm not doing this on camera, or I've got it upside down so you can't see. You'll see the results of all my cutting and chopping and stuff. And my suspicion was right. That little rectangular block that the landing gear, the actual gear is supposed to go in, is right underneath it. The hole. Let's see if I can kind of cut away at that. I kind of hacked at it with my nippers, but it's kind of, that is the one piece that's kind of preventing the ammo boat from going down any further. Is that little block. I don't know if you can see in there. It's this little block right there where I'm pointing with my knife. That block right in there is preventing my ammo belt from going down any deeper. So I need to stop hitting this fin. Well, that, and I need to trim this thing out and get rid of it. So bit by bit, you definitely will. Okay. Okay, we got something going. We got some depth in there now. So now with the wing ends in its spot, let's try this. That goes in its hole, and it still hits. I got more, definitely got more, but I think if I have it so it's just, you know, if I glue this in and have it so it's not quite that deep, I can glue this in such a way that it's sticking up like this at the top. And that might work. I have to glue it in with CA glue, so let's just do that. Let's get that out of the way here. So I don't really think there's much more I can do with that block. I've got it pretty close to being down flush with the bottom here. It's about as good as I can get it anyway. There's not much else I can get in there. I can try and maybe Dremel a little bit on it with my other bit. Now you guys see, are you starting to understand why I don't show you a lot of this custom stuff on my channel? It's because it's a lot of drill, test fit, grind, test fit, cut, test fit, just over and over and over. I pretty much eliminated that block in there. Okay, that block is pretty much gone now. No more. It's just a little bit of remnants in there, and that's it. And that's the best we can do as far as that ammo belt. So let's check out my fins. My fins are still looking okay. This is the one that just, you know, is yeah, it's it got injured and needs a little love. Yeah, let's get some CA glue out, okay? And let's get our ammo belt secured in there. I got a lot of stuff to clean up here. Okay, Dremel over here. Get some CA glue. I'm just going to put the CA on the belt itself. I don't need to try and be fancy with it. I'm going to put it right on the belt. There we go. And put our belt in. The only thing I want to make sure is that it's straight, level. There we go. So do that. See, just to speed things up. Add a little accelerant to it. Okay, so there's our belt, and she's in. Now, you see how it's actually sits lower than this level? That's what our issue really is, right? Fortunately, this is flexible. That does help. So let's just do this. So if she's sitting like this, like even just like that, it's kind of hitting a little bit, and it just wants to curl. It wants to curl under. So let's try something a little unconventional. Heat. You can do this with resin. Normally I'd use a heat gun, but with this being such a small part, going to try this. And now I've just totally changed the curve on that. And with the heat, I can basically adjust that as much as I want. That definitely changed it. But not enough. I needed to start bending a little bit sooner. Something like that. This definitely goes right in the middle now. I need this end to just go right and curl up. Should actually do that with my tweezers. Something like that. We'll try that. You still don't want to go, as the belt hits the bottom here, it doesn't want to slide. You know, this isn't smooth enough for it, so it doesn't, it just kind of, yeah, it kind of, yeah. Oh, it'd almost be better if my ammo belt was longer, like this, and I could have it fish all the way through, all the way down into there. But I don't want to do that. I want it to just, I want it to work properly, damn it. Okay, now she's actually curled up. I'm going to try forcing it in there, see what she does. Well, she kind of hits on this edge here. So let's just carve that out. That's loud. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, so she broke off. I broke my bullet. I broke off my bullets. So that's not good. Come on out of there. They fell into the landing gear bay. There they go. Okay, so my bullets broke off, which means I've got some bullets stuck in here now and a totally loose piece. But that being said, that would give me an opportunity to redo this and get different bullets on there. Now I actually have two different styles here. Two different styles of bullets that I printed. So this kind of needs to uncoil a little bit. So let's give this a little heat and uncoil this. Isn't that neat how it does that? That really is cool. And that'll allow me to trim off all these little nubs on the bottom. Or drop it on the floor like an idiot. There is a point where, you know, maybe you go, after all this, it just doesn't work, and you glue that door in a fixed open position, because after all, this is a model, not a toy, right? So if we glue this on here, oh, I got a, looks like a broken bullet here. Let's just trim that half a bullet off of there. Okay. So I could basically have it go down and through and just have it kind of sitting out on the top there. If I just have this in the right curvature. Let's see. Don't curl back up. You're supposed to uncurl. And drop on the floor again. Yeah, you like the top of my head? Okay, let's uncurl this side. Clean these up. I'm thinking of actually having this the side that actually attaches to the gun. And these bullets kind of printed funny, so we're going to trim that off. But to do that, I need to have these curved down a little bit, which is the exact opposite of the way they were curved. Okay, so the idea here with it curved like that is to kind of fish it through from underneath and have it come up. Like this. Have it fish through and attach to the gun. So now, right about in that spot exactly, let's think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, 7 to 8 bullets or so along that route. I need it to go like boom, boom, boom. Something like this. Kind of like that. Okay, so now at the very tip it needs to curve. Something like that. Okay, so we need to glue this back together like this. I need to make sure my distance is correct. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not, but I want to try it. Getting this to bend at the very tip is tough. Okay, we're going to try glue. I'll glue this side, since it's going to be easier to get at this side. Fish this through. just getting that up to its spot is the tough part. Well, the glue's doing its job and it's holding it. How well it's holding it right now, I don't know. But it's holding it. Whether this is actually going to work for me, I don't know. I need to put some accelerant onto that. Try and hold that in place. I might wind up putting more glue on the underside of it, just to make sure. Okay, so we're gonna try and see what it does. It just wants to kind of push it all in there rather than and just break off. It just wants to push it down. Holy shit. Come under there. I realize I've just spent an hour doing this and I didn't get anywhere yet. Well, guys, it's one of those things, okay? It's one of those things that it's a lot of trial and error. It's just what it is. It's trial and error. You have to keep at it and keep at it, adjust, cut, trim, adjust some more, trim some more, over and over and over until you finally get it. Because if you just go crazy and drill a great big hole, just a huge gaping hole, and put it in there, it looks like crap. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We don't want it to look like crap. We want it to look cool. I may actually wind up having to just say, you know what, screw it. This door is open and that's the way it is. Right? I might just have to do that. Because it was never designed to actually have an ammo belt, and definitely not designed to have the ammo belt move in and out, right? So, and we're not dealing with something made of cloth or anything like that that could easily bend and conform. This is a 3D printed part, and yeah, this particular resin I chose is really flexible, but it's still tiny little bullets that get caught on little things and stuff like that. So yeah, it kind of is what it is, right? And so yeah, I need to work on it more. I need to do more little fidgeting with it and to get it to work. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing off camera. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I invite you to check out the description box and see some links down below, and hit subscribe if you haven't already, please. And yeah, we'll leave it like that, and we'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully I'll have it all fixed by then.